3 days before her wedding, 27-year-old Sarah walked out of her home to meet someone she trusted. She told her fiancé Marcus she would only be gone for a few minutes. She even smiled as she left, but Sarah never came back. That night, Marcus kept calling her phone again and again. The calls rang and rang until they finally went to voicemail. Hours passed, and Sarah was still nowhere to be found. What Marcus didn't know was that the person responsible for Sarah's disappearance wasn't a stranger. It wasn't someone lurking in the dark. It was someone she called a friend. Before we go deeper into this heartbreaking case, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more true crime stories that raise awareness and remember victims whose voices can no longer be heard. And also tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I always read them. Sarah was the kind of person people instantly felt comfortable around. Friends described her as warm, patient, and always willing to help anyone who needed it. She worked hard, stayed close to her family, and had spent the last few years building a life with the man she loved, Marcus. They had met through mutual friends, and their relationship quickly grew serious. Those who knew them often said they seemed perfectly matched. They laughed easily together, supported each other through difficult times, and talked constantly about the future they wanted to build. When Marcus proposed, Sarah said yes immediately. The wedding date was set. Invitations were sent out. Family members were already preparing to travel for the celebration. Sarah had even chosen the song she and Marcus would dance to during their first dance as husband and wife. To everyone watching from the outside, their future looked bright. But hidden behind the excitement was a quiet tension that very few people noticed. Sarah had a close friend named Kate. The two women had known each other for years. They shared secrets, spent time together, and supported each other through life's ups and downs. At least, that's what Sarah believed. What she didn't realize was that Kate had been quietly growing jealous. Some friends later said they noticed small signs, moments where Kate seemed uncomfortable whenever Marcus and Sarah talked about the wedding. Times when she would suddenly change the subject or become strangely quiet. But no one imagined it would lead to something terrible. 3 days before the wedding, Sarah received a message from Kate asking if they could meet and talk privately. Kate told her it was important. Sarah didn't think twice about it. After all, Kate was her friend. Maybe she needed advice, or maybe she wanted to discuss something about the wedding. So Sarah agreed to meet her that evening. Before leaving the house, Sarah told Marcus she would only be gone for a short time. She grabbed her purse and her phone and headed out the door. Marcus watched her leave, expecting to see her again within the hour. But as time passed, the house began to feel strangely quiet. Marcus tried calling Sarah. No answer. He sent messages asking where she was. Still nothing. As the night stretched on, the worrying started to grow heavier in his chest. Sarah was responsible. She always told him where she was going. She always answered her phone. Something wasn't right. By early morning, Marcus contacted Sarah's family. Soon after, police were called. Investigators began by examining Sarah's phone records. The last messages she had received pointed directly to Kate. Detectives brought Kate in for questioning. At first, she appeared calm. She told them she hadn't seen Sarah that night. According to her, their meeting had never happened. But investigators quickly noticed inconsistencies in her story. They also discovered something unexpected while reviewing digital records. Private messages between Kate and Marcus, messages Sarah had never seen. When detectives questioned Marcus about them, he admitted that Kate had occasionally messaged him in the past. He thought she was simply being friendly, maybe asking questions about the wedding plans. But investigators saw something different. The tone of the messages suggested that Kate had developed deeper feelings for Marcus. Feelings that had grown stronger as the wedding approached. If this story is already shocking you, take a moment to like this video and tell me what you think in the comments. Do you believe this was jealousy, obsession, or something even darker? As investigators continued digging into the case, a disturbing picture began to form. Witnesses later told police that Kate had recently been talking about Marcus more often. Some even said she had hinted that Sarah didn't deserve him. Detectives now believe the meeting between Sarah and Kate that night wasn't just a casual conversation. It was likely a confrontation. Evidence suggested that when Sarah arrived to meet Kate, the conversation quickly became emotional. Words were exchanged. Accusations may have been made. What started as a meeting between friends turned into something much more dangerous. The life Sarah had been planning, the wedding, the future, the family she hoped to build was suddenly gone. Marcus, who had been preparing to marry the love of his life in just 3 days, was now left facing a nightmare he never imagined. Instead of celebrating, Sarah's family found themselves searching for answers and struggling to understand how someone they trusted could cause so much pain. For Marcus, the silence in the house became unbearable. Every room reminded him of Sarah, the wedding plans they had made together, the life they were supposed to begin, but that future would never come. Stories like Sarah's remind us of something deeply unsettling. Sometimes the greatest dangers in life do not come from strangers. Sometimes they come from people who stand beside us, smile with us, and call themselves our friends. And when betrayal happens at that level, the damage can last forever. If Sarah's story touched you, take a moment to comment "Justice for Sarah." And don't forget to subscribe if you want more true crime stories that honor victims and bring attention to cases that should never be forgotten.